Last time we learned that lots of people were scared of the Waodani. Why was that? Well, a big part of the reason was that the Waodani would often attack and hurt people because they didn't trust them. We also added someone else to our story. We started learning about Nate. Nate loved hearing his sister Rachel read missionary stories. He loved learning about people who told others about Jesus. Another thing Nate loved was inventing and building things. His family didn't have a lot of money, but that didn't stop Nate from inventing really cool toys. He built a toy train, a sailboat that could actually float, and a 6-foot-long toy airplane that could glide through the air. He figured out how to make them all by himself. His parents even let him take their car apart so Nate could see how it worked. But of course, then he had to put it back together again. Do you think you could do that? Oh, there is no way I could. It took Nate 3 days to put the car back together again, but he did it, and the car still worked. God gave him a special ability to figure out how things worked. Nate especially liked learning about airplanes. His brother was a pilot and had taken him flying. He even let Nate steer the plane. Nate decided he wanted to be a pilot when he grew up. He loved airplanes so much. But there was something more important to him than airplanes. While Nate was growing up, he had learned about Jesus and how he paid the price for sin. Nate believed in Jesus as his savior from sin and chose to give his whole life to God. He knew God wanted him to tell other people about Jesus. He wasn't in the jungle or desert like some of the missionaries he read about, but he started telling others the good news about Jesus right where he was. He even started teaching a Bible class when he was just a teenager. When Nate grew up, he practiced flying airplanes. He even learned how to fix them. And he didn't stop telling people about Jesus. That made his sister Rachel think he really should be a missionary. But Nate still wanted to be a pilot. Nate prayed. He asked God what he should do. What do you think God wanted Nate to do? The title of this part of our videos might give you a clue. You probably guessed it. Nate decided God wanted him to be a missionary. He wanted to obey God, even if it meant he never got to fly another airplane. He knew that many people had never heard the good news about Jesus. Some of them had never even seen a Bible. He didn't know where God would send him as a missionary, but he said, "Someday I would like to talk to someone who has never heard about Jesus." Can you think of any people we just learned about who had never heard about Jesus or seen a Bible? That's right, Dayuma and the other Waodani had never heard about Jesus. Do you think Nate would get to tell them? Would Nate be able to be a missionary and still get to be a pilot? If you want to know, you'll have to come back next time.